This is what's left of the teardown of my buddy Kevin's car. If he sees this, he's probably going to freak out. There's a method to all this madness. These are the parts that we are going to utilize when the new chassis gets here. Now, there's some stuff over that we're going to do to make it a little more reliable as well. And so he doesn't have any issues with water or anything like that. But so we're waiting on the new chassis to get here, and it should be here today. And once that thing gets here, we can start putting it back together, and that will allow us to get the body fitted and get all the holes drilled for the body mounts and whatnot. So in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to move this stuff. We're going to get the body down and start prepping it. I was saying yesterday, I believe this is an old RJ Speed wedge body for short course lathe model. It is around 12 inches wide and about 25 inches long. It's a cool body. I've never been a big fan of how radius the front end is, but we're going to make this one work. As you can see, it's been sitting for quite a while. There's a lot of dust on this thing, especially over here on this side, and it's equally as dusty on the inside. So in order to get the paint to stick on this thing, what we're going to do is flip it over and wash it out. And it's nothing fancy. I see guys do it with alcohol, but just to do a preliminary cleaning on it, I'm just going to use old soap and water and just get in there with a brush, loosen everything up, and give it a good washing, rinse her out, let her dry, and then do the same thing to the outside. So let's get started. I apologize for the angle, but there's really nothing fancy about this, and I'm just using, blue dish soap similar to Dawn, and just going to put a little bit inside. And since I don't have running water out here in the building, I'm going to use just some bottled water, but I don't have to have a whole lot. And then what I'll use as far as getting into the crevices and whatnot, I keep this old paintbrush out here to dust everything off, but we're going to use it for this today. So, and then just move it around. That's it. Nothing to it. Nothing at all. And there's a lot of things, got a lot of, especially back here on the back end where I don't know if you can see it back here on this end. There's some deep crevices in there that simulate the wing, or the spoiler rather. And I'm just going to give it a good brushing all the way around, really. And this is all it's going to do is clean it up. If there's any dirt, any oil, anything like that that's inside of it, it'll allow it to get all this stuff off of it, and the paint will actually stick a lot better. Don't have to worry about these edges so much because all that's going to be trimmed. But God, look at the dirt. Look at the dirty water. Holy cow. Been sitting for quite a while. I don't know if you can see in there or not, but man, that water's almost just about brown. I've got to get the dimensions for the decals to my buddy today. I'll get those measured up, and he can get those cut and get this thing buttoned up and have it up there to him on Sunday. That's the plan. We're going to try to go back up on Sunday and deliver this thing and let him run it and see how he enjoys it. And generally, I wouldn't do this here, but I would use alcohol. Like, I think I use 70% alcohol, and just put it on a rag and wipe it around and then rinse it out. But this thing, there's a lot of space in here, so it would take a lot of alcohol. So, all right, I think I about got it where I want it. So let me step out there and just drain this off, and then we'll pick it back up. I've got it washed out, and I rinsed it out with the hose on the back of the house. And so now we got just residual water inside, and to help it kind of dry, because I'm gonna let it air dry for the better part of the day, is I'm just gonna get up any heavy water or heavy amounts of water with old paper towel. Do the same thing on the outside, just kind of dry her out. even though it's got all these red markings on it, it already looks better. Now, this thing didn't have any window mask, and what that is, if you've never done this stuff before, window mask, you apply them to the windshield, the two side windows, and the rear windshield if you want to. And all it is like a sticker on the inside to cover those areas. So when you paint it, it doesn't paint your windows like somebody I know who did the first time they painted a body. I'm not calling any names. Clint. But it was the first time doing it, and it happens. So, but he built a real pretty car, and we got a lot of enjoyment out of it. So, but there we go. Already got the paint picked out. It is it's going to be red and white, simple, real simple, and because the livery that he wants on it is Cheerwine, and so that's all red and white. And thought about trying to do a couple, like a two-tone fade, but I'm not going to do that. It's just going to be a simple with lines, and yeah. So, but we're going to wind up using, this is a Tamiya paint. This is PS2 red. So that, some PS1 white, and then to back it up, I know this is going to sound nuts, we're going to use, part number 5056. This is white from Traxxas, and may use this to fill in some low spots, but this will be primarily for backing up the paint. This thing should look really nice when it's done. We also have a new set of tires coming, which is going to help it, because these are the two rears that came off. And, you know, they work, but he needs a new set of tires. So we do have a new set of tires coming. The body's dry. And now we need to start addressing some things such as wheel openings. Now, honestly, we cannot cut the wheel openings until the chassis is built, so we know where to open those holes. But in the meantime, to get ahead of the game, we need to prep and make something to ensure that these radiuses are, you know, are nice and clean and not hacked all the pieces. Obviously, whenever you cut your wheel openings and you hang your body on your car, you 9 times out of 10 you'll have to do some final trimming once you get the body mounted. In order to get it close, we're going to need to make something to keep the lines clean. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a template to use, and again, it's not going to be perfect, but it'll damn sure help us get it right. I had one a long time ago, and I misplaced it, but it's so easy to make, and I'll show you what I use anyway. So in order to make the template for the wheel openings, all I'm going to use is just a piece of card stock. Now this is the end of one of my kit boxes, and I'm going to use this. And you don't want to use cardboard. Cardboard can be a little bit thick, and it'll throw you off. But you need something with a really good clean line. That's why I'm going to use the end of this box. And then a tire. This is one of my old race tires. And so what we're going to do is basically just lay this thing down. And this doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be approximate. And what I like to do is I'll take something with some kind of a flat edge. It can be anything. So I'll use this can, right? And I'm going to bring it to the bottom of that cardstock, and I'm going to bring the tire down to where they touch. So that tire should be absolutely in line with the bottom of that cardstock. Then the only thing we're going to need is some kind of a marker. All right. So I'm going to grab a permanent marker and throw the lid off. I'm going to put some pressure in the center of the wheel, and I'm going to start roughly where, like a semicircle. And I'm going to take the point of that marker, lay it on the cardboard, and just drag it around until I get to the other side, 180 degrees roughly. Okay. So I'm going to call it right about there. Then at the same time, while I've got it off, or got it here, I'm going to mark a center line, real close to the center line on that. Mark a center line there. And then I can take this off. Got a little radius there. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we'll find a straight edge of some sort and just carry those right straight down. So I found me a straight edge to continue these lines with. Now, when I mark that center line on the top side of that radius, when I took the tire away, all I did is I just dragged that line down. You ain't got to go far, just enough inside of that radius. So whenever we cut this, you don't lose your center line. And then it's just taking the straight edge, lining it up the best you can. Doesn't have to, like, again, it doesn't have to be perfect because you'll have to do some final trimming on it. Bring those down. Bring this side down. And then we're just going to cut that out. And I'm just going to cut it around. And again, this does not have to be perfect because you'll have to do some either trimming or a little Dremel work to make everything give you the clearances you need. So, but this will get you real close anyway. So there we are. We have a template now, and I'll set another car up here and show you roughly what we're going to wind up doing. I want to clinch rigs for this. This is a Shark body put out by Shark Bodies. This is a Mustang. I think it's a 2024 Mustang body. And as you can see, we've got it fitted. It has not been trimmed. Obviously, there's still a lot of trimming that has to be done. And but and we haven't cut the wheel openings. Once the ride height is adjusted to where it needs to be, then it's just basically standing this. If this lip wasn't here, this in a perfect world it would be right. It would be standing this on your flat surface against the body, and then just tracing that out there all the way around the car. Front again will be just a little bit different, so you can look to have to massage those areas, but just, you know, marking them, taking that out of the way. You got a real good and real close cut line to get it right, and then you just cut it out and trim the rest of the material off the car, and get your rod heights right. Make sure you got your clearances right for your front, and that's it. It's so simple. That's where we are for now. We're just in a holding pattern right now, waiting on the parts to show up. With that being said, I want to thank a couple of guys that have stepped up and have helped with either services or with parts. You guys have been phenomenal. I can't thank you enough. That would be Shane. Thank you so much. Eric, thank you for what you're doing. And Derek, thank you for the things that you're going to do as well. I'm kind of blown away with the fact that the guys have stepped up and have offered to do the things that they're doing, or offered parts and things of that nature, and they don't, or have never met Kevin, never met him. But it's a racer's culture. We all help each other off the track. When we're on the track is another story. So, but thank you guys. You guys are class acts. I can't thank you enough, and I know it's going to mean the world to Kevin. And when we deliver the car, I'll make sure to get the video and his reaction to all of it. But until next time, man, you guys take real good care. Check on your neighbors. Be a decent human being. And that's about all I can say. God bless each and every one of you. Take real good care, and we'll catch you on the next one. See ya.